Hi there, welcome back to the DutchRC channel for another show and tell. I've got me a box again and yeah, it's a pretty nondescript box as you can see, but from the title of the video you already know what's in this box. Yes, it is a Zhiyun Z1 Tiny 2, so version 2 of their smaller sized 3D gimbal. So yeah, it is a 3-axis gimbal. There is a link in the description of this video. I got this one from Gearbest. And if you check that out, you'll see that this is not the cheapest gimbal around. But if you are familiar with gimbals, you probably also know that this is one of the better gimbals. At least from what I've seen and heard, it looks to perform very, very well. We'll see in this video. I'll first show you what's in this box, what its mounting options are and how to connect things. And then we'll take it out on my XK X500 quadcopter to see how it performs. So let's first take a look in this box. Now, if you've seen other videos about this gimbal, you might notice that this is a different version, a different iteration, if you will. And one of the things that has changed is this mount. The previous versions came with a 4-piece mount, 2 bars or plates like this and 2 plates like this, with the anti-vibration rubbers in between. As you can see, this one has one mounting plate, an aluminum one. I think the previous version had a glass fiber mount. I haven't had that one, but from the pictures it looked glass fiber. This is an aluminum one, and the anti-vibration dampeners are quite a lot bigger on this version. We'll come to that. Okay, next in the box we see a gimbal. Well, there you go. We'll take a closer look at the gimbal in a minute. Let's first see what else is in this box. We got a box within the box, and let's just throw everything out. Yeah, that's it. Okay, here are those dampeners, and as you can probably tell, especially if you've watched other videos on this gimbal, this one looks quite a bit bigger. Yes, sir. These ones look quite a bit bigger, sorry. And we have 8 of them. 8? Huh. Okay, and I also see these plates. I'm not completely sure. Yeah, these will probably screw on to the gimbal themselves. And then the rubbers go in between. In a minute or in a few minutes I'll show you the gimbal mounted to my quadcopter, and then you'll have a better understanding, if you will, of how this thing is set up. Okay, mounting plates. We've got 2 of these hangers, plastic hangers. Those will hang off carbon fiber or aluminum, in my case, tubes that you have to mount to your quadcopter. You don't have to use that mounting option, but they are supplied. And this is the last bit of mounting hardware. These basically go through the anti-vibration dampeners, and if your gimbal hits something and the anti-vibration dampeners slip out of their mounts, these 2 will prevent that from happening. So yeah, you don't need all these rubbers to be secured with these plastic things. Yeah, so they provide 2 of those. That's just fine. Okay. Yeah, and we got a bag with screws and an Allen key for all mounting stuff. Okay, apart from that, we have three cables, three sets of cables. This is probably more than one cable over here. Let me get the tie wrap off. Yeah, indeed, this is more than one cable. Okay, we've got an JST cable to power the gimbal, and there is a GST plug on the gimbal itself, so this one you might solder onto your quadcopter or anything you want the gimbal to mount to. And here we have a video lead. The gimbal has a throughput for your video. If you mount, for instance, a GoPro in this gimbal, the gimbal is meant for a GoPro. It has a video lead going through the entire frame, and this wire here hooks onto the let's see, yeah, over here. It slots in over here, and then you can mount this or solder this, connect this to your video transmitter. For instance, a 5.8, whatever, to have a live feed on the ground. Okay, and this is the second part of that same system. This is a USB cable that will hook onto, let's see, yeah, I hope that's visible, to the bottom of the gimbal. This cable will attach over here, and of course this USB plug will then hook into your GoPro camera. Now, I don't have a GoPro camera, I'll be using a different kind of camera, so I won't be able to use this plug. I'll probably be able to use another one anyway. And let's see, yeah, this is a very important cable. This connects to your gimbal over here. And it has several servo connectors. Four, in fact. One for the mode you want the gimbal to operate in. One for every axis, and that is it. You can control the movement of every axis in this gimbal. You can also not do that. Use the gimbal as just a follow, in a follow mode or in a FPV mode. In my case, I will probably set it up so I can control the pitch. And the rest should just be stabilized, if you know what I mean. Okay, and the last cable in the box is a USB cable, which you will need to upgrade firmware. Okay, a closer look at the gimbal. Yeah, I've already shown you all connectors. No, I haven't shown you all. Over here is that connector for all control of the gimbal, so the mode and directional control. Video out over here. And on the other side, I haven't shown you this one, is a USB port. And like I said, that's used for firmware upgrades. And the last lead, this is hardwired to the gimbal. Power connector GST with a GST plug. And as you can hopefully see, let me zoom in on that a little. As you can see at the top of the gimbal, everything, all connectors are clearly labeled on the back plate of the gimbal. So that's nice. And the next thing I'll do is I'll mount it to my quadcopter, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Hold on. So, as you can see, I've got it mounted to my quadcopter. Well, most of the quadcopter is out of sight, but that's not really important at this point. I've got a camera mounted in it as well, and at this point I should tell you that you should really not power on any gimbal without it being stabilized. As you can see, it is not hanging off to one side, it's not tilted forward. The gimbal is not powered at this moment, and as you can see, it is pretty stable. Without the camera it would not be balanced at all, of course. So don't power up any gimbal without the camera being in it. At this point I don't have it electrically connected to the quadcopter, so it's just physically hanging off. Yeah, you can mount the gimbal like this, hanging down from a platform. You can also mount it standing upright if you want to have a higher vantage point or for some reason. You cannot mount this gimbal facing forwards. Well, you can, but according to the specifications it wouldn't work very well. So just don't. Yeah, I'm gonna power it up with a 3S LiPo over here. And yeah, this gimbal does not work on 2S, by the way. You need a 3S or a 2.6S power source. And it takes a few seconds for it to initialize. And oh, it hasn't initialized yet. There that was the initialization procedure. At this point, as you can hopefully see, it stabilizes that camera. So it's completely on its own right now, so you can actually use this gimbal for a handheld jig if you'd want that. I've done so with several gimbals, but I will connect this gimbal to my flight controller for the tilt. For control over the tilt movement. Installation took no more than 10 minutes, so that was very easy. The screws you use to mount it on these plastic hangers and the brackets to the gimbal itself are all going from metal in metal. So please don't forget to use Loctite for that. And yeah, I'm gonna connect it up to my flight controller now, and then we'll take it out for a test flight. Here we go. Alright, so a bit of a more zoomed out look of the mounting of the gimbal here. I hope it's in view well enough. I should add, by the way, that if you connect your GoPro with that small little USB cable that comes with the gimbal, your GoPro will actually be powered by your flight battery, or the battery that powers the gimbal itself. If you run a separate battery for the gimbal, that's possible. That's not unimportant, of course, because well, battery lifetime and GoPros don't go well together generally. So yeah, you can feel secure in knowing that your GoPro will be powered the entire flight. That's nice. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna take it up, of course. I'm waiting for satellites to be found by my quadcopter, the X500. It seems okay. So, let's take it up. Okay, short little test hover to see if the quad is still feeling well with this added weight. Seems just fine. Okay, let's try and shoot some test footage. Here we go. Hey Onyx. Alright, well, the flight itself went just fine, as you could probably tell. I haven't seen the footage from the gimbal myself at this moment. You tell me, what did that footage look like? I obviously hope it looks good, but we'll see. Alright, for now, thank you very much for watching, of course. I'll also do a video on firmware upgrades, because there are several types of firmware for this gimbal. But that'll be coming up pretty soon, so be on the lookout for that. For now, thanks for watching and hope to see you back in another video. Bye bye!